Welcome to another edition of Bet with Bobano, Monday, August 19th. Ian Cameron, Connor Max, a maybe. He had to do some errands. Him and I did our first Hitting the Books college football show of the new season earlier today. Make sure you check out that show and make sure you subscribe to the brand new Hitting the Books college football show YouTube channel. We have our own channel this year, which is the place you'll be able to see all the shows, although the shows will also be available on my own channel. But make sure you subscribe to the College Football Hitting the Books show channel. We did our season premiere show earlier today where we talked a lot of season win totals and futures in college football. And we also previewed the two Saturday games coming up this weekend as well. Just a little bit of an appetizer for what's to come. Next Monday when we do the show, it'll be that full-fledged, complete loaded college football card to go through. So excited to have another season of the College Football Hitting the Books show back once again. So make sure you check out the link on my Twitter X account to the college football Hitting the Books show channel, and make sure you check out every show this season every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, with me and Connor Mack. All right, before we get into the MLB slate for this Monday, as always, we're going to begin with taking care of our business and our promotional stuff. So we will do that right now. Bitwallet.bet, a great cryptocurrency sportsbook and casino. I use it. I only endorse stuff that I use and I recommend, and I certainly do that with bitwallet.bet. I recently deposited some crypto into a bitwallet.bet sportsbook account recently. It's a great sports book. It gives you all the major options, live betting, same game parlay live betting, which is really cool, live dealers for casino games. And right now, if you sign up for a crypto sportsbook betting account at bitwallet.bet, using this affiliate link, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian, make sure you click that link. You'll be able to click the link in the comments below this video. And after you click that link, you will be taken to BitWallet to sign up for an account and register for an account. And if you register for an account using that affiliate link, you will be eligible for a 50% deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits at bitwallet.bet. So make sure you check that out, bitwallet.bet. Bet smart, bet anonymously. bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. Click that link, sign up for an account, and once you do, using that link, you will be eligible for a 50% deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits at bitwallet.bet. Also, we want to remind you, 6 months all sports discount. The clock is ticking, everybody. College football begins this Saturday. That's the good news. The bad news is 6 months all sports discount at Dub Club. The offer expires this Saturday, August the 24th. So very important to point that out. Only valid until August the 24th, this Saturday. You have basically 5 days left to take advantage of this. And again, once Saturday passes by, that 6 months all sports subscription goes back to the regular price of $400. So make sure you're aware of that. You have just 5 days left to take advantage of 6 months all sports, down to $250, $150 off the regular price just for the next 5 days until August 24th. And again, you'll get the entire NFL and college football season with that, because 6 months subscription will take you until February of 2025. Again, dubclub.win/r/Bobano. And the Dub Club subscription for 6 months all sports is every wager I place, a high volume card daily in every sport. Looking to build off a very good NFL and college football season last year, 22.2 units of profit in both of them combined. So again, just 5 days left to take advantage of 6 months all sports, discounted to $250 US at Dub Club. The other Dub Club subscription options: 1 month all sports, $75. 3 months all sports, $200. 1 year all sports, $750. And again, this is every wager, sides, totals, player props, everything that I place a bet on. It gets sent out via Dub Club to all the members and subscribers, and you will receive everything with that. If you are looking for something selective, lower volume, and just top plays and best bets only, then that's SoBet is where you should subscribe for that. $9.95 per month for a subscription with SoBet. And again, that is a lower volume subscription option with just best bets and top plays only. So make sure you check that out at SoBet. All right, there we go. All of that stuff is out of the way. It's time to talk a little MLB. For this Monday card. And we will begin with the Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the Miami Marlins. We've got Brandon Pfaadt taking the mound here tonight for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And it looks like it's going to be Aller on the mound here for the Miami Marlins. We've got Arizona minus 200 road favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. I'm off Arizona for now. I'm off them. I didn't like what I saw over the weekend against Tampa Bay. Terrible series for them. I'm not all that excited about seeing or laying this kind of a price with Miami. That being said, Adam Oller is a 29-year-old journeyman pitcher who didn't pitch well 2 years ago. Didn't really pitch all that great last year either. He's not someone I fully trust to have a real good performance here tonight by any stretch of the imagination. But Arizona, boy, that was not a good series for them over the weekend against Tampa Bay. Swept by the Rays, cooling off after that incredible run they put together. It's a pass for me. I'm not involved in this game. I do lean Arizona team total over because I don't really think highly of Adam Oller. I think they could probably do some damage, but I'm going to stay off this game. I think there's better betting opportunities here tonight when it comes to the MLB board. All right, we continue along on this Monday MLB slate. Next up, interleague play, Cincinnati and Toronto. We've got Aguilar on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, Gossman for the Blue Jays. Toronto minus 160, home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. Cincinnati did not hit at all over the weekend against the who were they playing against? Cincinnati, Kansas City. That's it. One run in each of the 3 games. Not very good at all. So we'll see how they fare here against Kevin Gossman. Hasn't had his best year, Gossman, but last 2 starts have been very good. 2 runs allowed in 8 strong innings against Baltimore, a very good lineup. And then he completely shut down the LA Angels in his last start, 7 innings of shutout baseball. So pretty good numbers there for Gossman in back-to-back games. We'll see if he can keep it rolling here tonight against the Reds. We'll have to see. The Reds, meanwhile, spot starter here for this first game of this series against the Blue Jays, who end up losing 2 of 3 over the weekend against the Chicago Cubs. We'll see if the Reds can bounce back here in this matchup. But, we'll see what they get here from Aguilar getting the start in this one. Again, not a game with much of a strong opinion for me, other than I would probably lean a little bit maybe under, just because the Jays offense was pretty cold over the weekend against the Cubs. The Reds weren't hitting over the weekend against the Royals either. So neither offense in the best form right now. And sometimes too with the Blue Jays, you have to factor this in. Sometimes these spot starters come in and you think, wow, there's a great opportunity for the Jays to get something rolling here. And you know how many times they've been shut down by spot starters this year. So don't put it past Julian Aguilar here to pitch okay tonight for the Reds. So I guess I'd lean under, if anything, here, but not a game I'm going to get involved with. We move along, and we've got Baltimore and the New York Mets. Battle of lefties here. Trevor Rogers for the Orioles, David Peterson for the Mets. Mets minus 135, home favorites, 8.5 the total. I like the over here. I think we'll see runs. Orioles hit lefties pretty well. Mets hit lefties pretty well. So both of these teams are in their better split, which you like to see. Baltimore coming off a disappointing series against Boston. They only got a 4-game split out of that. The Mets, meanwhile, they took 2 of 3 over the weekend against the Miami Marlins. Peterson's pitched very well. That would be the concern here about liking an over. But boy, Baltimore does hit lefties pretty well. This has been a thing with them all season. Last 10 games alone, these two teams are both hitting 275 or better as a team against lefties. So I know David Peterson's form is pretty solid. But I think when you look at you look at Baltimore and their ability to hit lefties the last couple of years, it's been pretty good. And I'm not at all liking what I'm seeing out of Trevor Rogers, not even a little bit. He has been a big disappointment since they got him from the Miami Marlins at the trade deadline. He's given up 5 runs 2 of his last 3 starts, total of 13 runs in 14.1 innings of work, last 3 outings with the Orioles. That's not going to cut it. I look at this game here, and I think both teams can get their way to finding some runs in this one. So for me, it would be Orioles Mets over 8.5. You can get that around minus 120 right now in this one. All right, we move up along here. Next up, Pittsburgh and Texas. Interleague action here. Luis Ortiz, Dane Dunning, the pitching matchup. We got Texas minus 150 to minus 160. Home favorites, 8.5 being the total here in this game. You look at the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they're an awfully roller coaster ride, Jekyll and Hyde, schizophrenic bunch. They've had some incredible win streaks this year, and now they're in another low where they've lost 8 of their last 10. They did win 2 or 3 at home against Seattle over the weekend, but boy, they are a very hard team to figure out. Luis Ortiz on the mound for them. He pitched okay in his last couple starts, but the fact remains, Pirates are 0-4 in his last 4 starts. Not exactly excited to take Pittsburgh right now in their current form, but the ship has sailed on Texas. I think if you got in on them early when they opened around minus 125, minus 130 in this game, you could have justified it, but minus 160, I'm not sure I'm ready to lay it with Texas right now. Keep in mind, Texas only has 1 win more in their last 10 games than Pittsburgh, 3-7 for the Rangers in their last 10 games. So it's not like they've been absolutely playing phenomenal baseball by any stretch. So really hard to get involved in this game with a team I want to fade in Pittsburgh, but I don't want to lay this kind of a price with the Texas Rangers going into this game. And when you look too at Dane Dunning, 4.92 ERA on the season, 4.15 at home, 4-7 overall record, 2-4 record at home. No, not the kind of pitching profile I want in my minus 150 favorite. Let's put it that way. So pretty easy decision to stay off this game for me when it comes to the Pirates and the Rangers. All right, we've got Boston and Houston. Really good matchup here. Tanner Houck on the mound for the Red Sox. Yusei Kikuchi here for the Houston Astros. We've got Houston minus 140 home favorites, 8 being the total in this one. Tanner Houck, nice bounce back in the last 2 outings for Tanner Houck. One of those came against this Astros team, holding them to 1 run on 4 hits and 6 innings at Fenway Park just 10 days ago. And then after that, he pitched pretty well against Texas, 2 runs allowed in 6.2 innings. So the returns have been very solid here for Tanner Houck of late. But they have been very good for Yusei Kikuchi as well, former Blue Jay, who has been very good here in 3 starts in the month of August for the Houston Astros, giving up just 5 runs in 15 innings of work. Very solid. Racking up the strikeouts as well. We'll see how he fares here. The one thing that's interesting is his current form's great. His past track record against the Boston Red Sox is not great. He's given up 5 runs in each of his 3 starts against the Boston Red Sox in the past. So you kind of got to weigh that when you look at this game, is current form versus the historical matchup against a specific team, which has not been good for Kikuchi. So kind of a tough one to gauge. But, when you look at Boston, they 36-26 on the road. They've actually played better on the road than they have even at Fenway Park. I think there's some value on Houck and the Red Sox. I mean, I know Kikuchi's in good form, but he has struggled against the Red Sox in the past. You look at Boston. The one thing is they have not been hitting lefties as well lately. I'd be a little concerned about that, but yeah, I'm not ready to take Houston at this price. So I might get there now with the price moving the way it is. I might get there a little bit with Boston, as an underdog. I just think, they're a little underpriced, a little overpriced now for the Houston Astros in this game. So I definitely would lean a little bit toward Boston now with the price getting a little bit better on them closer to first pitch. All right, we've got the Angels and the Royals next up. We've got Carson Fulmer, Seth Lugo, the pitching matchup. Lugo and the Royals minus 240 home favorites, 9 the total, shaded to the under in this game. I mean, what can you say about the Angels? They are awful. They're terrible. 3-7 in the last 10 games. They did actually win the first game of their weekend series against Atlanta, but then they lost the last 2 and outscored 14-4 in those games. Carson Fulmer got hit pretty hard by the Toronto Blue Jays in his last start. 5 runs allowed in just 3 innings. That's definitely not what you want to see. What do you make, though, of Seth Lugo? He has really struggled the last 2 starts. 14 runs, 15 hits in 9.1 innings against Boston and Minnesota. Got absolutely crushed in both of those games. In fact, 3 of his last 4 starts have been very concerning. Very concerning. So I think Kansas City's the right side here. I would probably do a run line team total split on the Royals because I do think they can get to Carson Fulmer. And we know the Angels bullpen is no good. So, they should be able to score some runs here tonight. The question is, I know Lugo's been roughed up in his last 2 starts, but how do you trust the Angels, even against a struggling Lugo? Lugo was still having an outstanding season before his last 2 starts. He's now going from facing Boston and Minnesota, 2 capable lineups, to this pathetic, and I mean pathetic, Angels lineup, which is averaging 2 runs per game and a 157 team batting average against righties in their last 10 games. This has the makings, to me, of a potential bounce back spot for Lugo, who I know hasn't pitched well in his last 2 starts, but if he's going to get back on track and pitch well again, this is probably the team to do it. Charlie Morton wasn't pitching great before he faced the Angels, but he shut him down yesterday. So I actually think Lugo could pitch well here. That's why I would lean Royals run line, Royals team total over, because I think they have to do most of the scoring here. Fulmer has struggled. We know the Angels bullpen's no good, so I would still probably go with either Royals run line or Royals team total over here in this one. All right, next up, another interleague matchup, Minnesota, San Diego. We've got Matt. He started last time for the Minnesota Twins against Kansas City. Zebby Matthews making his second start. Michael King for San Diego. Padres minus 160, home favorites, 7 the total. Condolences and best wishes to Don Orsillo, the great voice of the Padres on television. His mother passed away. He's going to be away from the team for a bit, so just wish condolences to the Orsillo family and the great Don Orsillo, who truly does a great job on their broadcasts. I think when you look at this game here, Minnesota, San Diego, Michael King's a pitcher I like quite a bit. I do. He's pitched well. He's coming off a gem against the Pirates, 10 strikeouts, 7 hits shutout. Didn't give up a run. He's given up 2 runs or less, King, in 3 of his last 4 starts. We'll see if he can keep that going here against the Minnesota Twins, who took 3 of 4 from Texas over the weekend. San Diego, definitely, I think, a little bit of a pitching advantage. Now, Zebby Matthews was okay in his first start this season against Kansas City. 2 runs, 5 hits, 5 innings, but I probably have to see a little bit more before I'm totally convinced. Do I want to lay minus 160 with San Diego? No. So this is going to be another one I stay off here when it comes to the Twins and the Padres. Could actually see maybe a first 5 under here in this game tonight between these 2 teams. I think that may be a decent thing to look at. Tampa Bay, Oakland. We've got Taj Bradley on one side for the Tampa Bay Rays and Boyle on the other side here for the Oakland Athletics. We've got Tampa Bay minus 125 road favorites. 7.5 being the total in this game. What a weird, unexpected, I should say, sweep over the Arizona Diamondbacks over the weekend by Tampa Bay. And where did that offense come from? They couldn't score at all against Houston, and then they erupt for 19 runs in 3 games over the weekend against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So which version of the Tampa Bay Rays lineup are you going to see here tonight? The one that got shut down by Houston, or the one that lit up Arizona's pitching staff over the weekend? That ends up being the big question there. Taj Bradley for the Tampa Bay Rays on the mound, 2.83 ERA at home. It does balloon to 4.5 on the road, and he is pitching on the road here, and he suddenly in his last couple of starts hasn't pitched very well. 5 runs, 9 hits, 4.2 innings against St. Louis, got crushed by the Astros, 6 runs, 8 hits, and 4.1 innings in his last start. So little concerns here for Taj Bradley going into this one. Meanwhile, for Oakland, we'll see what they get here as far as Boyle is concerned, but he's not exactly someone that I fully trust. We'll see how he fares in this one. But Boyle enters this start here, Joe Boyle, with a 7.39 ERA. This is one where with this total at 7.5 right now, leans slightly to the over, believe it or not. Bradley's form has kind of fallen off. He does have worse numbers on the road, and I'm not exactly liking Joe Boyle right now for the Oakland Athletics either. So I would probably lean over 7.5 here with the Rays and the A's. All right, 2 games left. Chicago White Sox, San Francisco Giants. Jonathan Cannon, Kyle Harrison, the pitching matchup. Giants minus 250. Actually, minus 230 is more along the lines of where it is. 8 the total in this one, shaded to the under. I mean, the White Sox, there's always these days where you look at them playing someone and you think, geez, maybe this is a good spot for them, maybe to finally take them. We'll see if that's the case. This isn't the worst thing in the world maybe to consider the White Sox here. At almost plus 200, Jonathan Cannon has been a capable pitcher for them at times this year. And you look at the last few starts for him, he's given up 3 runs or less now in 4 straight starts, which means he's pitched well enough to give the White Sox a chance. And when you look at Kyle Harrison for San Francisco, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag for him. He's had some good outings. He's had some bad ones. He does have, a little bit better numbers, like most San Francisco pitchers at home, 3.64 ERA. But last 3 starts, 7.42 ERA. I think there's a little value in it's not easy to back the White Sox. I get that, but this might be a spot where, you put a couple bucks on Chicago. It might be worth it because, to me, there's not a gap in the pitchers between these two teams like this price indicates. San Francisco's been erratic. They're only a 500 team in their last 10 games. Think about that. 500 team in their last 10 games. You got to lay minus 240, 230, 240 with them. So I look at this and I see this as, you play the White Sox or you pass the game. You can't, at least I can't, endorse the Giants or Harrison at this kind of a price. So it would be hold your nose and take the White Sox, at least for me, when it comes to this game. All right, Seattle and the L.A. Dodgers is our last game on this Monday slate. Brian Wu, Gavin Stone, the pitching matchup. We've got the Dodgers minus 130 home favorites, 8 the total in this game between these two teams. I'm a big Brian Wu fan. I've talked about that. I actually think I might take now, the one concern here is you're going from Detroit to Pittsburgh. No day off either, all the way to the West Coast now, and you're facing the Dodgers. So I don't love how this sets up schedule or travel-wise or situationally for Seattle necessarily, but Brian Wu continues to be pretty good, pretty reliable, give his team a chance every time he starts. 2.06 ERA overall, 1.31, even better in his last 3 starts. 4-1 are the Mariners in his last 5 starts on the mound. Gavin Stone has actually pitched a little better. He had a little bit of a rough patch there coming out of the All-Star break with the first 2 starts post-break, but last 2 starts have been better. 4 runs in 9.2 innings, not as bad. Coming off a really solid outing against Milwaukee. Can he maintain that here against the Mariners is a question. The one thing that does concern me about Seattle is you never know what you're going to get from their lineup. They're very capable at times, and then there's other times they get completely shut down. They are not really swinging the bats with consistency right now from one game to the next. But, I mean, you're going to give me a price like plus 120 or so with Brian Wu right now and the way he's pitched. It's difficult to pass that up. Probably will end up landing on the Mariners here for some kind of bet. First 5 full game split here in this one. I still have some questions too at times, at least, when it comes to the bullpen of this LA Dodgers team, which, has been erratic at times, a little more so lately. I remember that game against Milwaukee, they had a lead, and then they blew it in the latter innings. Unfortunately, Seattle's bullpen the last 10 games has a 4.97 ERA, so not great either. But like I said, when you're talking about Brian Wu and the numbers he's put up and the consistency he has delivered for the Seattle Mariners this season, and you're talking about getting him as an underdog here at plus 120, I've got to lean in that direction. His road ERA is 2.52. So for me, it would be Seattle at this plus price, getting the plus 120 here against the LA Dodgers. There you have it. That's the Monday MLB card. Appreciate everyone tuning in here on Bet with Bobano. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Timothy Hake, Gold Jew. Andrew McGinnis, good friend of mine. Lion A to the Habs, he says. Let's go. He's more excited about them getting Lion A than I am. This guy's a useless tit. He is lazy. He doesn't defend at all. If he doesn't score, he is completely and utterly useless to a hockey team. That's simple as that. I actually love Kent Hughes getting the second round pick. I'm more excited that he got a second round pick in that deal, which to me, that is awesome. That is some good GM work by Kent Hughes, that he traded for Patrick Laine, sent Jordan Harris there. They do have a lot of good depth on the blue line, Montreal, so they were trading from a position of strength when it comes to their blue line, because they've got a lot of defensemen on their team and prospects in the cupboard as far as the blue line is concerned. Lion A, we'll see. I'm going to have to be convinced that he's anything but the disappointment he's been his whole career. What I like about this trade for Montreal is getting the second round pick with it. That's really good GM work. I did not think it was going to be Lion A and a second round pick, but it was. So credit to Kent Hughes for that. And for Columbus, it's a good deal. You know, you get a malcontent, you get a guy that didn't want to be there out of town, get him out of there, and you bring in a good young defenseman who's got the potential to keep getting better, in Jordan Harris, and they need players like that, Columbus. So well done by Don Waddell as well on the Columbus side of things. Razor Sharp, good to see you as well. We appreciate that. Shout out to everyone. Yeah, share and like the video, hit the like button. And yes, Gold Jew preseason unders went crazy. They are, I think, 27-6 first for NFL preseason unders, 27-6. And you know what's crazy is people are going to look at that stat this year and maybe blindly bet all the unders last year, when coming into this year, the last 2 years, it was something like 23-5 to the over. So overs went nuts in the preseason the last 2 years. And now all of a sudden this year we have this 27-6 under streak in the preseason. So the bottom line is, what it goes to show you is, don't blindly bet streaks and trends. Don't do that. Do your individual game handicapping. You still got to put that work in individual games, handicap the game the way you see it's going to proceed with as far as the totals go. And definitely that's the way you got to go about it. Because it's just like with the last 2 years where it was heavy to the over, it didn't carry over into this year because it's gone the other way, 27-6 to the under. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be heavy to the under again next year. So you got to continue to do your individual handicapping and handicap year in and year out, or handicap each individual game and go from there. You know, you still don't want to ever fall into that trap of blindly betting a trend, even if it's a strong one. All right, good stuff. We appreciate everyone joining us. Connor Mack not able to make it. Like I said, he had some errands to run. By the way, Connor Mack and I earlier today, I'll mention it one more time, our season premiere edition of college football, Hitting the Books. It's on the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. It's a brand new channel. We just launched it this morning. That is our new home for the show. You'll be able to watch every single edition of Hitting the Books all season long during the college football season. Mondays live at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Starting next week, we will have individual game preview clips for each game we talk about on the show. Those will be posted on the Hitting the Books channel as well. And it'll also be simulcast on my own channel, but Hitting the Books channel will have the full show and also the individual game clips starting next week. My channel will not have the individual game preview clips from the show. Only the Hitting the Books channel will. So make sure you subscribe to the College Football Hitting the Books YouTube channel. And C-Mac and I were thrilled to be back for another season of shows with Hitting the Books for another college football season. Can't wait. I mean, I know it's only a handful of games, 2, 3, 4 games this weekend, but still very excited to have college football back and more than ready for it. Like, I've put in the work, C-Mac as we are ready for a very solid, profitable college football season. No question. So make sure you check out Hitting the Books. All right, it is time to wrap this show up. We got best bet to wrap it up. And to me, it's a clear best bet. Like, this is not one of my stronger cards, as you can tell in my voice when I was breaking down the card today. I'm very wishy-washy. That's the phrase. Wishy-washy on a lot of things when it comes to this MLB card for tonight. But the one thing I'm not wishy-washy on is I think we're going to see runs in the Orioles-Mets game. Now, one thing I do want to check is that I do think they were calling for chance of rain, but I don't know if it's going to be nearly as bad here tonight as far as the rain is concerned. Let me just that's the one thing that concerns me. I hate overs when it's going to be a potential for rain, potential for a delay. Shit. I mean, that would concern me a little bit, but I'm going to stick with it anyway. It doesn't look like it's going to be a lengthy delay if there is one. They're saying it's going to move out pretty quickly as far as the rain if it does hit New York. I still think, look, Baltimore hits lefties well. The Mets hit lefties well. Trevor Rogers hasn't been any good for Baltimore. I know David Peterson's pitching well, but it's a tough matchup he's got here against a very good Orioles lineup. So let's go with over 8.5, minus 120, Orioles and Mets. That'll be my best bet here for this Monday MLB card. All right. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out for this edition of Bet with Bobano. We'll be back tomorrow. My Tuesday guest, Cam Lynch, will be back with me for the show tomorrow, and we'll once again break down the MLB card. And a reminder, Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy. We've got more NFL and college football preview videos posted later this week on my YouTube channel. The Football Frenzy preview videos will continue for both NFL and college football. We got many more coming this week. We're going to get the majority of them recorded and posted this week. SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10, the Power 4 conferences in college football. I think we're halfway through the NFL previews. We'll get the majority of those done this week. We got a couple more guests joining me for those preview videos. So those will be uploaded. More college football conference, more NFL division preview videos coming up this week on the channel. And of course, on Wednesday, as usual, we'll have the CFL edition of Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy for the week. We'll talk week 12 in the CFL on Wednesday, as always. And last but not least, specifically, I want to mention this. Again, I can't stress this enough. This offer is no longer available to you after Saturday. You've got until Saturday to get on board with this. $150 off the regular price, down to $250 for 6 months, all sports. Every wager, sides, totals, player props, all sports through February. The entire football season will be part of it at Dub Club. Get on board now because you've just got 5 days left to take advantage of that 6 months all sports discount from $400 down to $250. I'm Ian Cameron. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the games and good luck. Bet like Tony Soprano. Bet with Bobano. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Tuesday for another edition of Bet with Bobano.